Good evening, everyone. I'm Alan Joins, Mayor of the City of Winston-Salem, and it's my pleasure to call to order this meeting of the February 5th meeting of Winston-Salem City Council and ask the city clerk to call the roll, please.
Councilmember Larson.
Present.
Councilmember Clark.
Here.
Councilmember Mundy.
Present.
Councilmember Scipio.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Adams.
Here.
Councilmember Taylor.
Present.
Councilmember McIntosh.
Here.
And Councilmember Burke.
Here.
Thank you very much. And would you please join the city council and me in a moment of silence? Thank you so much. And would you please join the city council and me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Our Sergeant at Arms tonight is Lieutenant Bowen. Lieutenant, thank you for being with us tonight. Now call on City Manager Pat Pate for the bi-monthly update.
Thank you, Your Honor. Just a couple of items to note for council and the community. One is on Thursday, this Thursday, February 8th, the City of Winston-Salem Human Relations, Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Department will be hosting the Governor's Advisory Council on Hispanic Latino Affairs for their quarterly meeting. This represents the first time in the history of the council that they have met outside of the state capitol. The meeting, which is open to the community, will be held from 11:30 to 3 in the Gallery Ballroom at the Benton Convention Center. Registration is required to attend. Tiffany Olivia in the city manager's office and the Human Relations DEI, Javier Correa Vega, both serve as members on this council. So we're well represented on them, and we're very excited to have them in the community this week. I know several of you were at the We Built This exhibit opening this week, and probably others of you have seen it since then. But that exhibit, which highlights Black builders and craftspeople in North Carolina, opened at the Union Station on February 2nd. The exhibit, which is sponsored by the Historic Resources Commission, the African American Heritage Initiative, and Winston-Salem State University, highlights the stories of those who designed some of the state's most historic sites, including Lamson Hall at Winston-Salem State University, Goler Memorial AME Zion Church, and highlights internationally known brickmaker George Black. After February 2nd, the traveling exhibit will move to the Winston-Salem Fairgrounds Market, or that's where it's at now. It'll be open from 6 a.m. to noon on the following Saturdays, the next 3 Saturdays, the 10th, 17th, and 24th. So I encourage everyone, if you haven't had a chance to see that, it's a very impressive exhibit, to go out and see that. The Student Awards banquet for the 44th Annual Human Relations Students Awards will be held on Wednesday, February 28th at 6:30 at the Embassy Suites in downtown Winston-Salem. And again, we encourage everyone to put that on the calendar to be able to participate. Tonight, I appreciate I get to do this a little bit earlier than you'll do it. The city has the pleasure and honor of recognizing and celebrating our 2023 retirees for their many years of service to our community. I would like to personally thank each of the retirees, a few of them are in the room tonight, for their dedication and contributions to the city of Winston-Salem, and I know council will be taking that up shortly. And then finally for me, the city has successfully completed the third round of leaf collections. So a special thank you to Assistant City Manager King and the sanitation teams for collaborating on the successful leaf collection season. I'm gonna let him elaborate just a little bit more on that. I'll call on Aaron to do that.
Thank you, Pat. Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, and council members. So as Pat alluded to, the third round of leaf collection finished up on January 31st. If you remember last year's leaf season, we shaved probably 40 days off of last year's leaf season. And that credit largely goes to your team in sanitation who worked tirelessly to provide excellent service to our citizens this year. Those guys and gals did an amazing job, and all the credit goes to them for their hard work and producing an excellent leaf season this year.
Thank you.
And we'll stand ready to answer any additional questions council may have.
Any questions, City Manager? Thank you, Mr. Oh, and Mayor Pro Tem.
Yes, not pertaining to what you just stated, but some of us got calls from the press this afternoon about the $13.5 million that the Justice Department and Attorney General Stein and Federal District Judge Harrison has gotten to be divided between Charlotte and Winston-Salem. Of the 13.5 million, only 11 million will be it's for Black and brown communities that have been subject to redlining, I guess, over the past few years. Can't be all the way back to when it initially started, because I told them that we're very appreciative of the 13.5, but only 11 million will be going towards credit resources, rehabbing houses, improvements, and things like that. And there's another 750,000 from another bucket to the community agencies and collaborations that First National Bank will be working with. And then there was another bucket of money that goes towards doing a credit assessment in these Black and brown communities of Winston-Salem and Charlotte. And I didn't know anything about it. I've already asked some of the council. They didn't know anything, the mayor. And I was wondering if you had heard anything, and if not, or if so, please follow up. I've talked with the city attorney and kind of get us up to speed. We do know that when we did the opioid settlement, we were pretty well educated and versed. They asked me who from the city was working with the Justice Department and everything. I told them I didn't know. So I'm going to forward you the number and the communication contact for this particular outlet, so you can follow up, and maybe you can follow up and get us some information as well, you as well as Attorney Carmen.
I appreciate that. I have no knowledge, and I have not been contacted by them either about this. So you have as more knowledge on it than I have at this point in time, but we will continue to follow up and see what we can find out.
Thank you.
Good. Thank you, Ms. Pape. Well, we do have 2 honorariums tonight, and as the city manager alluded to, we're recognizing our retirees, and they're easy to recognize tonight. They're sitting on the front row, and they're all smiling, so they're feeling good about that. So would you read the resolution? And by the way, we're going to scroll the names of the retirees. And could I ask those who are here with us tonight, would you stand, please?
My apologies, this isn't showing up on the screen. Okay, I'm going to read this.
Okay.
My apologies. Hello. Okay, got it. Nope. Okay. It's not working. I'm going to go ahead and read the
That's fine.
resolution.
Go ahead.
Resolution honoring the 2023 City of Winston-Salem retired employees. Whereas there are 60 City of Winston-Salem employees who have retired in 2023, Judson G. Rush, John A. Hosevar Jr., Carol L. Davis, Joshua A. Henry, Darrell L. Green Sr., Ronald G. Shelton, Jimmy L. Falk, Stanley Neves, David W. Smith, Sharon B. Richmond, Tonique M. McCullough, Vaughn D. Barrier, Preston J. McRae, Edna V. West, Krista L. Long, James G. Kraft, Lee D. Garrity, James B. Pleasant, Scott D. Bracken, Stacy B. Knight, David W. Walsh, Frank M. Elliott III, Jesse D. Stidham, Michael J. Cardwell, Mark A. Grant, Andrea L. Kaiser, Tobias F. Mack, Joyce A. Overstreet, Stephen M. King, Ricky C. Boston, Dale A. Southern, Michael R. McFadden, Dewey M. Williard, Anthony E. Durden, Brian O. Tolliver, Christopher A. Wall, Christopher A. Joyner, Jonathan R. Martin, Larissa S. Mathis, Marvin A. James, Jason W. Branch, Jacqueline D. Clayton, Christopher L. Carson, Michael C. Harris, Jeffrey W. Maston, Jonathan L. Arnold, Randall D. Britton, Jerry L. Cruz, Kitty L. Foltz, Rocky A. Hooser, Ronald E. Hilton, John Himes III, Michael L. Jackson, Brenda L. King, John D. Morris, Austin B. Pendry, Joey A. Rich, Wanda Russell, Tamika L. Smith, Stephen G. Walker, Trace R. Wooten. And whereas the collective years served by the retired employees totals 1,315, and whereas all of the 2023 retirees, Andrea Kaiser from the Civil Engineer Design Management Division of the Engineering Department has served the longest with 34 years of service. And whereas the work of all city employees is valued and appreciated by the mayor, city council, and the citizens of Winston-Salem, now therefore be it resolved that the mayor and Winston-Salem City Council approve honoring the aforementioned 2023 City of Winston-Salem retired employees and wish them much success as they embark on new endeavors.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Taylor, seconded by Mayor Pro Tem Adams. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
I know there are no opposed. That's unanimous. And once again, we thank the retirees who are with us tonight and those who are watching and those who will watch this on tape at some point there. We greatly appreciate the work that you've done for the citizens of Winston-Salem and something over 1,000 years? Yeah, of service to our citizens. So we thank you for your service, and may you have a wonderful, enjoyable retirement.
Thank you.
It's especially good on the 25th of the month. So we have a second resolution, item H2, please.
Item H2, proclamation declaring February 5th, 2024 as Little Theater of Winston-Salem Day. Whereas the Little Theater of Winston-Salem was founded on October 3rd, 1935, with the intent to bring quality theatrical experiences to the city of Winston-Salem. And whereas the Little Theater of Winston-Salem is embarking on 90 years of serving the city through entertainment, education, and arts enrichment, and is the oldest theatrical arts organization in the city with a long history of arts support and advocacy. And whereas the Little Theater of Winston-Salem has presented professional, quality community theater for generations, where thousands have experienced spectacular productions as audience members, as well as the thrill of collaborating and creating on stage and backstage. And whereas annually, the Little Theater of Winston-Salem brings over 12,000 people downtown and provides learning and creative opportunities for hundreds of volunteers. And whereas the Little Theater of Winston-Salem, through partnerships with area nonprofits and the Winston-Salem Forsyth County School System, provides costumes, props, and set pieces that enhance the area's arts endeavors. And whereas the Little Theater of Winston-Salem is honored to present over the next year its 90th season, which is full of mystery, comedy, and its signature quality production values. And whereas the Little Theater of Winston-Salem is proud of its history within the community and looks forward to the part it will continue to play in the city of the arts and innovation. Now, therefore, I, J. Allen Joines, Mayor of the City of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, do hereby proclaim Monday, February 5th, 2024 as Little Theater of Winston-Salem Day.
Thank you very much. We have with us tonight Joelle Irons, who's Executive Director of the Little Theater. If you would come forward, please. On behalf of the City Council and the citizens of Winston-Salem, we extend our congratulations and thank you for bringing another piece of culture and adding to the mosaic of the arts in Winston-Salem. So congratulations to you. If you'd like to say a word.
Thank you, everyone in Winston-Salem, for all of your support. The city has supported Little Theater of Winston-Salem for 90 years. We would not be the City of the Arts without the Little Theater of Winston-Salem. And we thank all of the people in the past, future, and present who have been a part of our organization. Thank you so much for this.
Thank you. Recognize Councilmember Mundy for a comment.
I just didn't want the opportunity to pass to acknowledge that I've been on the Little Theater Board twice. I've trod the boards many times. I've music directed shows. Chad in the audience and I have played the same part 15 years apart. When we talk about building community, theater in general does that, and Little Theater in particular does. When I first moved to Winston-Salem, I met all my friends at Little Theater, and they are still friends today. So thank you, Little Theater, for everything you do.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, council member. So tonight's agenda of the City Council is comprised of two parts, the general agenda and the consent agenda, and it's the practice of our council to take the consent agenda as the first order of business. Items on this agenda have been unanimously recommended by a committee of the City Council or are being submitted in accordance with established city procedure. There'll be no discussion of the items on this agenda unless a council member so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered individually. Items not removed from the consent agenda will be enacted with one motion. Council members, are there any items you wish to pull?
Move for approval of the balance of the agenda, the consent.
Second.
We have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Adams, second by
Scipio.
Councilmember Scipio. And go ahead, Councilmember Scipio wants to make a comment? No. So tonight we'll have a simple voice vote on the consent agenda. So therefore, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? So that is unanimously approved. We'll now go to the general agenda, where we have one item which has to do with the revised meeting schedule for March. Would you read that item, Ms. Jamie?
Item G1, consideration of City Council's 2024 revised March meeting schedule.
Mr. Manager, you want to comment on the?
I'll make a quick comment, and then I think I've spoken to most council members individually, and we talked about it in one of the other meetings. There's been a couple of issues that I think are deserving of committee of the whole type of discussions. One is on our housing proposals and projects that we've got moving on, and the second one is our budget preparation for the upcoming year. So we've proposed that we use the dates that you've already got set aside for committee meetings to do as committee of the whole in March. And have those meetings at the Home and Garden Building at the Winston-Salem Fairgrounds so we can have them as more of a discussion type of a format there. So we're recommending that you approve that change to your calendar.
Any questions of Mr. Pate?
Same start times.
Yes, still would start time at 2 o'clock. Generally, we've got them scheduled from 2 to 5.
Councilmember Scipio?
At either of these meetings, will there be opportunity for public input?
No, ma'am. Typically at these kind of sessions, they're for council discussion with staff. If council desires to hear from somebody in particular, I think we could try to work to arrange that. But it's not just an open public comment period.
Thank you.
All right, may I have a motion?
Move approval. Second.
Motion by Councilmember Clark, second by Mayor Pro Tem Adams. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor, please indicate by voting yes. Anyone opposed, vote no. Thank you. That is unanimous. We do have a need for a closed session, and I believe Councilmember McIntosh has a motion.
I move that the City of Winston-Salem City Council go into closed session pursuant to NCGS 143-318.11A3 to receive an update, consult with, and provide instructions to the city's legal staff regarding several legal matters and to preserve the attorney-client privilege.
Is there a
Second.
Second. Thank you. Motion by Councilmember McIntosh, second by Mayor Pro Tem Adams. All those in favor of going into closed session, please indicate by voting yes. Anyone opposed, vote no.
Already shut.
Do a voice vote down.
Can we do a voice vote?
There we go.
That's right. My ESP.
Thank you.
ESPN.
ESPN voting.
it's
This is Kane.
Larson's Kane.
All right, guys, come on.
Is there a motion to end closed session?
So move.
Second.
Motion by Mayor Pro Tem, second by Councilmember Taylor. All those in favor of ending closed session, say aye.
Aye.
Unanimous. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second.
Motion by Mayor Pro Tem to adjourn, seconded by Councilmember Taylor. All in favor of the motion to adjourn, please say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? We are adjourned.